In Paso Loutre, the marshes are covered in crude. The sight is sickening. So is the smell. There's little sound, no sign of life. We reached the marshes on airboats, accompanied by Louisiana's Governor Bobby Jindal and Billy Nungesser, president of Plaquemines Parish.
BP hazmat crews working on beaches, but I mean, why aren't there hazmat crews here right now?
They don't have a plan. They told us they did, just like they told us it wasn't going to come in here. Usually you'd pull in here the fish, the minnows, a trout would be running behind a minnow. Action all over. It's dead. Look, there's not a bug, there's not a squirrel, there's not a fly, there's nothing. And there's no one cleaning it up.
Why isn't somebody cleaning this up now?
Well, that's a great question. Again, you know, Billy presented his plan yesterday, and he's basically said he hasn't been able to get a response. He's basically said to BP and the Coast Guard, in 24 hours, if you don't approve my plan, I'm going to implement it anyway.
The federal government says that they've got a boot to the neck of BP. Do you see that here?
No. No, you know, they keep talking about the thousands of people they have, and they do have 1,000 people eating in the tent there in Venice. Why aren't they out here cleaning up? Do you see any boats out here? General Allen could step up to the plate and say, enough's enough. I'm putting Joe Blow in charge, and he's going to have somebody over each parish that can make the decision. We're going to get him the boom. We're going to go ahead and say, let's pump every Barry Island, and we are going to do everything physically possible to keep this all from coming to shore. When I got in the helicopter the first time with Stanton, head of New Orleans, and he said, oh, don't worry, Mr. President, we're going to help you clean up. I turned to him and said, land this chopper. There is no cleanup in South Louisiana. You either prevent it from getting or we're dead. We're going to die a slow death because they didn't hear the warning way back when. And that's the bottom line. There is no leadership. When I got this number 7 excuse, we don't have enough money. This will take 1/3 of the budget for the whole cleanup. You can't do it in 6 months. Well, I want to know what expert has more detailed information than the people who've been doing dredging for 30 years. Everybody should know everything going on. That's what's wrong with the process. There's too many secrets. Nobody can tell me they are holding up the project. They got to have a name. Give me somebody to put my hands around their neck.
What would you tell your people in your parish right now?
We try. We try, but we got a brick wall in front of us. If they would have said, Billy, do what you need to do, and we'll support you. That's what the United States is supposed to do. We would have had a Barry Island pump by now, because I'd have put every marsh buggy, every barge with a bucket on it. We'd have built a Barry Island. Trees would be growing by now. I guarantee you. We'd have protected it, and we'd have had 89% of it all outside, not in the marsh. It's going to cost 50 times what we estimated they would have spent. But what the hell is an emergency permit if they got to tear it? We spent 2 weeks putting it together. Something stinks. They were told to hold that permit up for some reason. Colonel Lee worked too hard to help us. He was excited for the first 2 weeks. When he walked into that airport on Monday evening, there was a different man. He didn't even look me in the eye. Well, we got a lot of things to look at. Well, what? A lot of procedures. Well, what are those procedures? Well, a lot of them. That is bullshit. That is a cop-out and excuse. And we paying for that. We paying for it with their salaries, and we paying for it with the marshes and the wildlife in this state. And for that, it's criminal. They ought to go to jail.
It's that bad.
Anybody that stays in the way of doing everything physically possible, we should be throwing a kitchen sink at this place. What do you mean we don't go out in the afternoon to deploy boom? My guys were out there with flashlights last night. You know what? There's nobody in charge that has any passion for doing the right thing. It's a job to them. Guy at BP met me going through it. I'm going home for the weekend. I'm like, Greg, I didn't even know it was the weekend. Glad you could go home for the weekend. Absolutely ridiculous.
I'm asking why you don't take control of the whole operation.
Again, maybe I'm just not being, over the course of several weeks, have been clear on this. It is their responsibility. They have the legal responsibility and the technical expertise to plug the hole. They're responsible, and we are overseeing to ensure that what they're doing is what needs to be done.
But if they're not getting the job done, does the government just stand there as a spectator and hope for the best?
Chip, there's nothing that would denote that the federal government has stood there and hoped for the best. What are you asking them?
BP is not accomplishing the task. Why doesn't the federal government come in and take over and get the job done?
You can't do that from a private company. The information, first of all, the pilot.
AIG what to do.
Pardon?
You took over AIG.
Well,
Why is the Coast Guard being co-opted with BP officials and threatening the arrest of journalists for trying to take pictures?
I'd have to look at the story.
This video was shot by the local parish government in South Pass. When we tried to reach the beach, seen here and covered in oil, a boat of BP contractors with 2 Coast Guard officers on board told us to turn around under threat of arrest.
This is BP's role, it's not ours.
If any of you are thinking of coming to the United States, I would suggest that you heed the warning in the following song. If you visit American City, you will find it very pretty. Just 2 things of which you must beware. Don't drink the water and don't breathe the air. Pollution, pollution, we got smog and sewage and mud. Turn on your tap and get hot and cold running crud. See the halibuts and the sturgeons being wiped out by detergents. Fish gotta swim and birds gotta fly, but they don't last long if they try. Pollution, pollution, you can use the latest toothpaste and then rinse your mouth with industrial waste. Just go out for a breath of air and you'll be ready for Medicare. The city streets are really quite a thrill. If the hoods don't get you, the monoxide will. Pollution, pollution, wear a gas mask and a veil. Then you can breathe long as you don't inhale. Lots of things there that you can drink, but stay away from the kitchen sink. Throw out your breakfast garbage, and I've got a hunch that the folks downstream will drink it for lunch. So go to the city, see the crazy people there, like lambs to the slaughter. They're drinking the water and breathing the air.